Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Property Hustler Show. My name is Andrew, and today Ping and I are joined by Mario and Alex, who are the founders of the REI Summit at Sea. Guys, this is an amazing event that combines both education and vacation. Mario is a Canadian real estate investor, and Alex is an American real estate broker. They met on a cruise liner and had this amazing idea to put it together to have this kind of real estate summit. We're going to talk about that right now. So, guys, great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Honored to be here today.
When did you guys start, coming up with this idea together?
We actually met on a cruise ship, so that's where we got our friendship started. We do lots of cruises, each of us, and we met on a cruise. We were hanging out where? Probably listening to a band.
And you know what? That goes to touch on the point on really the reason why we started putting this event together is for networking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have two people that were just on a cruise ship hanging out,
Yeah.
and now we're putting together deals and events.
Nice.
So that's kind of what made it all grow.
So did you guys start investing in real estate together, or you guys?
We're separate, but we're both in real estate. I invest. He's a broker.
So I'll give you a little bit of my background.
Yeah.
So I'm a real estate broker, but I'm also a cruise expert. So I have family in the industry from plumbers to captains on the cruise ship. So
Nice.
I like to spend anywhere from 80 to 100 days a year on a cruise ship. Hence why I became a broker, so I can do real estate, no matter where I'm at in the world and have a team. And I've always wanted to grow in the investment side. I've always been on the realtor and broker side of things, but I wanted to get into the investing side, but I never did, never had the right partnership, right? Because it's all about teamwork and relationships and rapport in real estate, especially when you're investing. So sitting there listening to the band, we met and realized Mario had, an investment property company, Lamar Properties, and he was getting into investing. And I said, perfect. And then I shared my story about eventually doing an event of a summit at sea or a conference on a cruise ship. I explained how awesome it would be. And he had the same vision. So we just jumped
Yeah.
right in.
And
But-
when was that?
That
What year
was
was
last year. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So
so-
it was a very recent thought.
It's something that's been brewing for a while, but never had the right tools in place to make it happen, which is just like a deal in real estate. You may have some of the tools in your tool belt, right? But
Mhm.
with the right partner or, investor, whoever it may be, you don't know because you don't know what you don't know. You put those elements together and then the opportunities could be endless.
That's hilarious because you know what? It's such a novel idea. It's the kind of thing that, two guys might be talking about at a bar, but never get around to, right? But
Yeah.
you guys actually are pulling that stuff through. Just to be clear, are you both into cruises or are you into boats? Like, is it,
cruises.
So big difference. Yeah. Cruise ships in particular. And the reason being is you have a lot of space and people, right?
Yeah.
On the cruise ship that we're planning this event at, which is Real Estate Investors Summit at Sea, it's one of the biggest ships in the world, 188,000 tons. So we're talking like 4,000 guests, 2,000 crew. So when you can get that many people and go to a different location and network every night, right, for 7 days is really what we felt was missing because you need to build those relationships and rapports in order to get into a partnership with somebody. We got to hang out 7 days every night on the ship. That's how we built our relationship. Keep in mind, I'm from Southern California. He's from Canada, and
Yeah.
we're still making it work because we wanted to make it work. So imagine the possibilities, meeting a partner, an investor, whoever it may be on a cruise ship while they're attending workshops that are with like-minded people.
Especially now that you don't want the securities commission on your back. You really need to have a relationship with your possible money partner or whatnot. So that's like gives you so many opportunities to go deeper than just a weekend somewhere, at a real estate event.
If you guys I like to break down kind of the event and what we're thinking.
Go for it.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
So Mario, I'll let you break down where we're going
Yeah.
and when it is.
So it's happening next year in February 16th to 23rd, 2025, leaving out of Miami on this carnival celebration. We're going to stops in Cozumel, Mexico, Mahogany Bay, Honduras, and Costa Maya, Mexico. So it's a really great route. Lots of sun, lots of amazing clear water, great for snorkeling.
While
That's
we're
nice.
networking, we get to see these awesome destinations. And
Yeah.
that was kind of the idea. So we're going to these amazing destinations, but why is the question, right?
Mhm.
And that's where Mario and I got together and said, well, we, attend all these workshops and events, and it's great knowledge. It really is great information. But the one thing that we felt it kind of lacked, and not completely, but in my opinion, it's very important, is the networking opportunities. build those relationships and rapport. I'm Italian, so we're all about family and getting to know people, right? I brought it up to Mario. He had the same thought, 7 days of an event. While we're having workshops at the same time, go on a roller coaster in the afternoon that's on the ship. You know what I mean? Throw the fun aspect. Maybe you and I are having a conversation. We want to grow our relationships and we go out and do an excursion together, you know, at one of the ports. How cool would that be? That way, when you get back home, you can still continue those relationships just like we did, because you feel like you know that person more instead of just, hey, here's my number, call me, like you was brought up a little earlier. And then you really make nothing of it. It's like a casual conversation, you know, at a bar that goes nowhere. Where if you want to be successful, you have to go after what you want.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is that a lot of networking events, people see each other. The time span is very, very short.
Yeah.
Right. That's number one. Number two is very transactional. Feels like it.
Yeah.
Right. This one, it forces you to socialize for 7 days, have some fun. Right. Really
and
get to know
different
each other.
settings. So we're gonna have the business settings in the workshops, but you're gonna have the fun settings at night in the networking events, or you just on the ship in general.
It's a natural environment.
Yeah.
So unlike, you know, going to a conference center or a hotel where you get that feeling that you're going to a conference, right? Because it is what it is. There's nothing else there. It's you're going for that sole purpose. Well, we wanted to tie the fun into that, right? Make it more natural, kind of get out of the elements, change the scenery, because that's when you're most vulnerable, is when you're going to absorb the most information.
Well, it creates a catalyst environment, right? Like something like what you said, natural, that was going to bring something out of people, right? You see people do this at networking events all the time. Like the hosts are trying to get people, you know, up and doing something so that they can network.
Exactly.
And that's the part that sometimes feels unnatural. It's like, turn to the person to your right and do this. Turn to the person to your left and say this to them, right? And they try to get people talking. But it is always awkward. But being stuck on, not stuck, but being on a boat with people for 7 days,
I'll be stuck on a boat there on the ship every week if I have to, because it's great.
Place to get stuck with somebody.
A lot of the cruisers will get after us if we call it a boat, so we have to call it a ship. So because it is a ship, which means there's a crew that runs it. Not only do we have all this fun and education involved in it as well, but you have to keep in mind that the partners and the schedule that we create, because it can't just be, hey, get on the ship and have a great time. So to take it a step further, we created an amazing structure to the event. So we have a timeline, which is available on our website and anywhere you can find our information to see the breakdown. What makes this a little difficult is getting the meeting space on board the cruise ship and being able to secure those spaces. Because I have an existing relationship with the cruise lines as a certified cruise counselor, I'm able to reach in to the back end office and say, hey, this is what we want to do. And we have a team at the cruise line directly that's helping us put this event together, which helps tremendously. Yeah. So with that being said, we did a fine balance to making sure everyone has the time to have fun, but also for it to be educational, because we have amazing speakers and partners that are going to be on board. And we want to make sure that whoever joins us for this event wants to come back year after year, because this is going to be an annual event that we do.
Yeah.
Let's say people really like the idea of, going on cruise for 7 days, all inclusive, like going to different locations, right? And then really be able to leverage the networking aspect. What can they actually learn? On
this event, we have 6 partners. There's going to be 4 workshops and then 2 speakers. We decided to open the week with a mindset coach. The reason is you need to be in the right mindset to be successful in everything in life, but in real estate, it's like a must. If you don't have the right mindset, you're gonna run around circles, without being successful. We decided, why not open the week with our mindset coach? She's gonna, and her name is Billy, and she's gonna prepare us or everybody that's attending the summit to make sure that we're all ready to get the information for the rest of the week. So that's amazing.
So to start off the week with a mindset coach, then that's going to be one of our morning shorter segments. And then we break into one of our workshops. Now we'll have 2 workshops happening simultaneously. So we're going to split our group into our event into 2 groups, just to make the most time, to get the best, use out of our time. And with that being said, once we split into our 2 groups, we'll have 2 workshops throughout the day. Keep in mind, these are on sea days, which means we're at sea. So it's nothing but time. So we'll have 2 workshops by 2 different ones of our presenters, our speakers, which Mario will touch on the rest of our presenters here in just a second. So they'll kick off those 2 workshops, and then we conclude the day with a networking event every night. So Mario, who is it that we have on board? Let them know. Let's share the info.
So we have Billy, who's going to do mindset. We have Donna. She's going to talk about rent-to-own strategies. Okay. We got Michael Ponte, who's doing raising capital.
One of my favorite things, by the way. You got to know how to get money, right? We all
Yeah.
like money.
Your own is always limited. Yeah.
We got Alfonso Quadra. He's going to talk about how to level up with multifamily. The ladies from Honeybee, they're going to be talking about due diligence.
Another very important topic, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Doing
how
your
to
due
do
diligence.
proper due diligence, not just
They're
you know.
developers, right?
They're developers. They did a bunch of different things. Land development. They did flips. They just know it all. But
Yeah.
they specialize now in
I think
bigger
that
developments.
They even have like a big portfolio as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So 500 million plus portfolio. So they have their hands in a little bit of everything, which is great. And then I believe we have one more, which is Karina.
Karina Guzman, and she is going to talk about land development
Land development.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So
So what's cool is we wanted to make sure we had somebody that specialized in different categories of investing, right? Because strategies. So you have so many different strategies that you can go after. And some people like to do it all. Some people want to focus in one area. This is another great thing. These speakers not only on board, normally when you go to an event, the only time you see them is when they're on stage. It's maybe after to take a photo, you probably get a quick selfie, but you're not going to get 10 minutes with that person. We could all agree on that. On a cruise ship, you have 7 days to run into that person. So, because
Yeah.
they're just like one of the attendees. So they're there to spend more time with our attendees, which is one of the big things about Real Estate Investors Summit at Sea. Is we want to make sure that not only do we build a relationship rapport with our peers that are there, but also with these amazing speakers that have a proven track record of what they're doing. So we're very proud of our lineup that is going to be on board. And they're also excited to do this because they know it's something different and new that hasn't really been done before.
it hasn't been done, and when we approached the speakers or the partners to be part of this, they were so excited. Like most of them said yes right away after seeing our promo video that we did. It's just something new, right? It's something that hasn't been done. Yes, there has been crews of like networking people together, but there's no structure really. We brought a big game changer in the real estate event world with a structure on a cruise ship like this that hasn't been done before.
So we're excited. You
Yeah.
can't tell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. The moment that you mentioned that to me, I'm just like, no, we gotta get you guys on the podcast, right? Because here's the thing: the lining up the speakers for 7 days like that is very challenging.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
right? And that's why there's not a lot of networking events like I see basically.
It took a lot of work
Yeah.
to put
Yeah,
it
this
together.
is definitely,
sure.
it's not something that came together overnight. That's for sure. A lot of planning, phone conversations, Zoom calls, traveling back and forth from Canada and the US for me. Same for Mario. I
Yeah.
think Mario, we're in different countries. And over the last month, I think we've seen each other 4 or 5 times, in different visits. So, at least once a week, every other week, we're going back and forth. So the dedication that it takes to put an event together like this is very important as well. You have to have that drive and that excitement to be interested in what you're doing. Because if you don't love what you're doing, then what are we doing?
You are, in fact, filling a gap. Ping and I talk about it sometimes, how our favorite type of travel is when we get to go somewhere and we get to learn something, right? And when we're there for a little bit, also, if we want to enjoy ourselves later in the evening, if we did something productive, network, learn something, we feel like we've earned it too.
Yeah.
So
Right.
true.
So, and there's a lot of people who I think resonate with that, and being able to go to something like this, people want to go on vacation. You are literally combining something that sounds fun with the experience of learning and propelling yourself forward.
And it's a write-off because
Let's not forget about that part, right?
so
Yes.
when can you write off a vacation? Not too often, but this one you can.
Now,
Yeah.
another thing that was very important to us was the booking process for an event like this, because you have 2 different elements, right? You have an event, which is an educational event, and then you have a cruise. And normally there would be multiple payments and structure involved to be able to attend an event like this. And as an attendee, it's difficult. We wanted to eliminate that and make it easy. So it's literally, because we did the back end work for everybody, it's you make one payment, you buy your event ticket, and you're done. You don't have to worry about selecting your cruise cabin. You don't have to worry about paying the cruise line separately. Because we work with the cruise line, we're able to make it one package deal for everybody, which is so much easier.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you're also going to get the best locations on the ship. Being a cruise expert myself, I know it's important to not be right below the pool deck. So when you get a cabin, you're not going to have chairs, right above the deck or right above the galley, maybe. So we've selected the best locations on the ship for the cabins, whether you're in an interior or a balcony, to make sure you enjoy your vacation. So having an expert on the cruise side do all that legwork for you is a big plus. I've been on a cruise ship since I was born. I was literally on a cruise ship, I think like at a year old. So being on the cruise so much helps tremendously too. And then being the real estate broker, tying the two together, you have the knowledge to be, successful at an event like this.
We wanted to be, people remember this as a good time, and all the hurdles that you can get, we're trying to take all of that out of it.
Get them out of the way.
Yeah. Well, you are dealing with the accommodation aspect of it too. And sometimes you go onto like Google reviews of hotels and people complain about the silliest things sometimes, but not just, these are things that when people feel like they are all combining a vacation with a learning experience, because that's pretty much, I think, how a lot of people are going to feel. They want to probably have some of those niceties, which it sounds like you've already considered a lot of it. What does it look like in terms of population distribution? It's not all real estate investors.
No.
You're going to be taking, I think, a section of the cruise line.
We only have 100 cabins available to us for this event for a couple of reasons, but one of them is also the space at the meeting space. We can't have, 1,000 people.
So it's a little bit more of an intimate setting, right? Because we want to have, not small groups, but smaller groups, we'll say. That way you can really absorb a lot of the information that's given. And I'm sorry, repeat your question for me one more time.
What does the population distribution look like in turn? Because it sounds like you're doing a community thing. So it's like, is it sectioned off? Is everybody on the same floor? Is everybody you're going to see going to be a real estate investor if you stay to your section?
Okay, so with that, number one, everybody's going to be everywhere on the ship. We didn't want to put everybody in one exact section because we want you to explore the ship. So great locations on the ship, but we're not all going to be in connecting rooms. We want everybody to enjoy their own personal vacation. Now, I'm a real estate broker. I have real estate agents that are going to be attending. There's investing teams that are brokers that invest together. And in addition to sales that will be on board, there's investors that strictly do investing, that specialize just in multifamily. And that's what they do. We have guests that are specializing just in land development, and that's what they do. And they're just coming for the seminars and summits. So it really is anybody around real estate whatsoever, whether you are a broker, a real estate agent, an investor, you're in funding, lending. We have even actually last week we had a mortgage broker sign up and come with us from one of our teams. So we'll have lenders on board, and because you need all of this, it's all a piece of the puzzle, right? If you want to, go buy a 9 unit, you don't have the cash. You need somebody with creative lending, and we have that person on board for you to build relationships. So anybody that's in the industry, and no matter where you're at, is welcome to come and will benefit from it tremendously.
We actually have quite a few people that booked from the US, and it's good because a lot of Canadians now are looking to invest in the US, and that's a great way to connect with people, right?
You don't say.
Are you on that ship?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, honestly, that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Cross-border investing. Actually, one of our partners will be talking about that specifically, and is amazing. I actually learned a lot about that in the last coming weeks because of this event, and we're not even there yet. So that just goes to show you, the information that we're going to be getting is really priceless. Because the thing is, and I like to say this, so forgive me if I've already said it, you don't know what you don't know. So if you can build a relationship and somebody tells you something, well, I didn't think of that. Well, it's because you didn't know. So it really can take you a lot further.
A lot of times, like the information really comes in from a conversation behind the scene, right? Like all these networking events, the speakers sometimes they have to talk about high level stuff because all the, I guess, the members who are in the room, they all have different. It really depends on your real estate journey, right?
Yeah.
So they do have to talk about high level, but it's all the small talks that we had within that room with the different members that will get you, I guess, or solve the current problem that you're having right now.
The difference is you're going to be able to ask your question that maybe because he talks high level or she talks high level about a subject, but hey, there's 6 more days. So you can ask your personal question directly to the guru.
Right, for sure.
So with all that being said, I'll share with you guys, if you'd like, a little bit of our packages and the options.
I'd love to. We wanted to know about pricing and how that all works.
Yeah, so we'll kind of break that down for you. I don't have it exactly 100% memorized, but I'll give you guys a ballpark on kind of the 3 packages. I do know what's included in those. The dollar amounts. And by the way, because they will change here in the near future.
May 1st.
May 1st, they go up.
They're on early bird promotion right now.
So with that being said, we keep it simple with 3 packages, right? Our 3 packages are silver, gold, and platinum. Platinum is the most popular, and you'll hear why in just a second, and this comes into play on that package. But our silver package is going to be an interior cabin. So if you like to sleep in, you're not going to spend a lot of time in your cabin, or you just don't mind if you don't have a window or balcony, you can save some money and go with the great value of an interior cabin. You're still going to get all the event amenities that are included in the events, the workshops, the networking events. Now, we all of our attendees will get some merch, some amazing polo shirts with the Real Estate Investors
I
Summit.
know
at
you
Sea.
guys want one of these.
A custom lanyard, which on cruise ships, you have a sail-in sign card, a key card. It's basically, and then for our event, you're going to have an additional NFC card, which is going to be access to all the events and summit and networking events and workshops. So that'll help the lanyard for those two items. And then we have the next package, which is the gold package. Gold package, you're going to get the same lanyard and the same polo shirt, but instead of an interior cabin, you're going to get a balcony cabin, which is my personal favorite because I like to go outside in the morning, have a cup of coffee on my balcony, watch the sunrise. Same thing in the evening, go out, get some fresh air. So the gold package will have everything that the silver package has, with the exception balcony cabin versus interior cabin. And then the most popular, I would say, is going to be the platinum package. And the reason I think that one's really popular is because it includes the drink package.
Yeah.
So in our platinum package, we included 2 additional merch items that our attendees will be getting. Number one, this amazing thermal bottle. It'll keep your beverages hot or cold because your beverages, you want to throw pina colada in this, as one of our presenters said, you can do that. Mario, I'll share that. Go ahead and share the story.
Because the ship is so big, right? So let's say you take a drink and from the back of the ship and you want to walk from the front of the ship, you're going to finish it because
you'll be out of a beverage. The cups
Yeah.
are too small. So we wanted to make sure you had
so
something
so
large
people
enough
can fill that
to
and-
carry your beverages. In addition, our platinum package holders are going to get this awesome notebook here, custom notebook with a pen, obviously, to take those notes. So that's included in our platinum package, as well as a VIP dinner.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a VIP dinner. Let's talk about food real quick, by the way. Is that okay? if we
Yeah,
jump into
yeah,
food? 'Cause
sure.
This is important. So all the food is included, which is awesome. So the value, let's think about the value. If you look at the pricing of these packages on our website, for what you get, you're going to get unlimited food 24 hours a day. Now, there are elevated experiences called specialty dining restaurants. This is leading back into that platinum package. We're going to have a VIP dinner at, like, let's just say the steakhouse, which is traditionally an extra charge. It'll be included for our platinum holders for this VIP event, a more intimate setting with our partners and speakers.
Yeah.
So VIP events are included in the platinum package as well. But unlimited food everywhere around the ship. Your waters, teas, lemonades are included. And then if you're not in the platinum package, you want to get a drink package, you have that option to add that as well.
How many VIP seats are you guys giving out right now?
So you get to select the cabins because the VIP package is also in a balcony cabin. So it's really just, do you prefer to have the drink package and the extra perks, and do you want to go to that VIP event? It's totally up to you and optional. So the attendees get to select.
We didn't cap it yet, but once we start having a too big of a number, we'll it's going to be written sold out.
Yeah.
So there's no official cap that we've set to that. We'll kind of see how it goes as the year progresses. On that note, I want to just stress the urgency to book these for people that are interested. A lot of people say, well, we have time. It's in February. Let's hold off and we'll get it later. The one point I like to point out, which is very important, because we're all used to attending summits and conferences, at hotels. If that hotel where the summit or conference is sold out, what do? You go to another one right next door, right? You can always go and get your ticket. There's typically availability. On a cruise ship, if the cruise ship sells out, you're not going to be able to stay next door unless you're a really good swimmer.
And we only have 100 cabins for us. So imagine 100 people or a couple for Canada and US, like it's going to sell out
quick. And not only that, but those 100 cabins too, after a certain time frame, the cruise line is going to want them back.
Mhm.
So we want to make sure you secure your cabin, because I got to tell you, the excitement about this event is crazy. So
Yeah.
I don't see the 100 cabins not going, but
No.
if they don't, they do get released. So you want to make sure that you secure that cabin so you have your spot.
No, honestly, a lot of networking events that we're seeing is more than 100 people, right? 200 people.
Yeah,
so,
easy, yeah.
so that is the cap, basically.
100 cabins.
Yeah, 100 cabins for the
Got it.
overall event, which is, keep in mind, 200 people, because
Yeah.
all cabins on a cruise ship require double occupancy.
Yeah.
For sure.
So there's going to be 2 people in every cabin. So if we're talking 100 cabins, it's 200 attendees. And as we split the groups, that's why we wanted to split that. So we can have 100 attendees in each workshop, at the max.
Got it.
Now you can go up to 4 people in a cabin. So if you do want to bring your kids, which is, we encourage it because it is a vacation at the same time. We have special pricing on our website for kids, which we actually included Build-A-Bear. They can choose a Build-A-Bear experience or an arcade gift card. So we wanted to make sure, that
Their kids are included, right?
Yeah.
They're going to get a polo shirt, by the way, too, a nice shirt and the lanyards and their own event ID badge.
Yeah.
For those young entrepreneurs, because we're all about helping, kids out as well and kind of see this at a young age. I think that's very important. So for kids that are, and I like to say well-behaved, but if they want to come into one of the workshops and, kind of see what we're doing, we're inviting them to do so.
Yeah.
Obviously, if there's any disruptions, we're going to kindly ask them to go play in the arcade.
For sure.
But if you have kids and you know that, your kids are capable of coming into a workshop, maybe just for an hour and peeking in, they're welcome to do that.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. You guys have thought of everything. It sounds like
We tried.
Yeah, no, it's good because a lot of people, a week for some people is going to be like a long time. I imagine in February it's enough planning that people can make their arrangements. But if they have to, will they be able to upgrade? Like, let's say they buy a ticket for themselves and then decide, hey, family's going to be around. I want to bring my kids. Is that something they can do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So not only can they upgrade and bring additional people, as long as there's space available on the ship, right?
Yeah.
So as long as space available, you can add guests to your cabin. Maybe you booked an interior cabin and then you decide you want to go to that platinum VIP parties. You can upgrade your cabin as long as it's available. So you can change packages at any time. The only thing you can't do is downgrade. The
Yeah.
cruise lines allows us to upgrade, but once you're in a balcony, you can't switch to an interior, which is very important to know, right?
For sure.
So another thing that we wanted to do to make it easier for everybody to book is we have two booking options. A, you can pay for your package in full time of booking and not have to worry about a balance, which is my favorite because get it done, forget about it. Option two is we added a deposit option. So you can actually book your cabin with a smaller deposit and then the remaining balance is not due until October 1st.
Yeah.
There's not very many conferences or summits that
No.
offer that as an option.
Usually you buy your ticket for the summit or a conference and you got to pay up front, right? So we made it a little bit easier if you want to reserve your cabin. The rest is due October 1st. So
Now, let's compare the pricing a little bit because that's actually one of the discussion that Mario and I had in the networking events. So
Yeah.
one thing that I really want to kind of bring to the audience is when we talk about a 7-day cruise like this versus 7 days cruise without education components, the price isn't that big of a difference, actually.
we really tried to make it affordable, and also because it's our first year, right? We wanted to get people to come. Now they're gonna want to come back year over year after that,
For sure.
But the price is almost the same price as a regular cruise
I mean,
would be.
just to give you an idea, our silver package is at $1,500 per person, right? $1,550 is
For
what it comes
7 days.
for 7 days.
Yeah.
All
Now,
inclusive.
Tax
You
included
don't,
too.
you don't have to
Tax
wash your
included.
dishes at the end of dinner. You don't have to make your bed every morning. These are things that are all included. I make the joke, if you do the math of what it costs to live at home and you do on gas, electric, water, the food you're going to buy, everything that it costs, it's actually sometimes almost cheaper to be on the cruise ship.
For sure.
Those are
Yeah.
like Cuba trips, just so you know. Like,
Yeah.
they're very comparable, and that's one of the most affordable
Yeah.
places that people.
And there's a
vacation.
show every night after dinner, right? Broadway style shows and entertainment. Like
and there's
Jen-
bands, and we're gonna meet at different places, or I don't want to say bars, but it could be bars at a different place on
maybe
the
it's
ship,
maybe
right?
it's a comedy club, maybe it's a bar,
Yeah.
maybe it's just a lounge. I've been on the ship, Carnival Celebration. It's one of my favorites. It's amazing. I mean, this ship is just so gorgeous. So there's meeting spaces, public space everywhere, where you don't feel like sometimes you don't want to be, sometimes you need to be in that conference center setting.
$1,550. Okay, think about what an event price ticket would cost you. I don't know, $300 to $500 for a conference usually, right? Over a weekend. Now you have to stay there because most people come from out of town, rent a hotel room, anywhere from $200 to $400
Right?
of hotel.
Couple Ubers, maybe a rental car.
You need to eat 3 times. Most people eat 3 times a day, so $25 each meal.
You're already
For
at the
sure.
event price almost.
The way I look at it is very simple. It's like VIP. Usually, when we go to events, we go for VIP because VIP is where you can really filter out, some of the, people who are not that serious. or at a more like a advanced level, right? So usually, what we did is that we go for VIP. We get into the room with a very like advanced players, right, in
We
the
call them
industry,
action takers.
action takers as well, and You know what? One thing I do want to point out is that with the current pricing that you guys are offering right now, it's almost half of the price for any other VIP tickets for different local events for 3 days only.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, and I don't know if it's okay to actually name a couple conferences, but anyway, those conferences are actually priced at 5,000 to 6,000.
I can name them, yeah.
Multifamily conference.
There's a lot of them.
When you first mentioned it, I was thinking that, when somebody goes to something for 7 days, it also shows a degree of commitment. Because I was going to ask the question further on, like, who do you think this is targeted for? And obviously, I think there's a seriousness of people, but also casualness of this too. Because,
Absolutely.
this is like an all-inclusive package, right? And if somebody can get their education portion, so you still need that VIP portion of it to kind of, for people who are like really, really, really serious, like this. The vacation is secondary to the event, where some people the event is secondary to the vacation.
Yeah.
Right. So it's good to have, I think, a little bit of that separation just for people to be able to connect. But I do wonder, how what this demographic will look like in terms of meshing. So,
Yeah, and that was our thought process exactly. So we basically want to make sure we invite everyone, but at the same time, give you the option. Like you said, if you want to, I feel the same way. I'm a VIP event. I want to get in there. I'm an action taker, right? So I want to be in there. I want to be face to face with these partners and build a relationship and a rapport.
It's also for the experience. Like, how many times are you going to be able to have a meal with our 6 amazing partners together?
But at
that
the same
table?
time,
It's like-
let's say my cousin is just getting into real estate investing and she knows nothing about it yet, but wants to, put her feet in the water. This is also a great event for that person
Yeah.
because maybe you can come in at the value package and maybe you're not quite ready to have those serious conversations with our partners, but you still want to get a taste. You can join in at the silver or gold package,
the
still get
silver.
all the perks
Yeah.
and benefits and learn, because we all have to start somewhere. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I remember when I did my first flip, and I knew I was scared and knew nothing. And that's where you got to start.
Yeah.
From the newbies and investors to seasoned investors. No matter where you fall on the scale, there's going to be something for you. Just like on a cruise ship, right? There's some people like to relax. Maybe your style is going to the spa, read a book, and keep it quiet. Maybe you like the Serenity Deck where there's no kids. It's 21 and over, very relaxing environment. Maybe you're the complete opposite and you want to go clubbing and dancing and have a, high energy at the Lido Deck by the pool and have a drink at the bar outside. You can literally have 2 completely separate environments and be comfortable. So no matter what you like to do, there's something for you. Same thing with entertainment, same thing with education and our speakers and partners.
Amazing spot on the ship where they have mini golf, they have a basketball court, and
A roller coaster.
Yeah, this one has a roller
I saw that.
coaster.
It's so cool. And you control the speed of the roller coaster. It's like a motorcycle.
No.
There's a throttle, and then like you just gun it and go
That's
slow.
awesome.
So on the drops, it's a lot of fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask a couple of basic questions for people who haven't been on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise, by the way. Have you
Okay.
been on a cruise?
Once.
Once?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was like all inclusive,
Okay,
except
yeah.
like you're actually traveling when you're sleeping, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting to like different spots, but everything's like the same as.
Feels productive. You travel while you sleep. You get to places. You get to see different environments. So like I talk about this with my brother sometimes, and he always questions the cruise because his concern, if you're just going for vacation only, he says that you don't always have enough time to go out of the ship to actually explore some places. So
You're
can
gonna-
we address some of the standard cruise
You're
questions?
gonna love what I have to say about that.
Go for it.
So, number one, I hear that a lot as a cruise expert, right?
Mhm.
First of all, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a 95-5 split. 95% of people that go on a cruise get addicted and go back
Yeah.
because of the value and what you get and how fun it is, right? There's something for everybody. The other 5%, maybe it's not for them, whether there's one reason or another. Talk about enough time to spend in each port. I personally just did a 30-day cruise. I went to Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, and Australia. I only had 1 day in each one of those ports. A lot of people say that's not enough time in Tokyo. That's not enough time in Indonesia. I use it as what I call the appetizer, right? You go on a cruise for a great value. You get to see 3 amazing destinations on this ship. Maybe you like one of them more than the other. So now instead of and I hate to say it this way, but wasting money on a vacation, not knowing if you're going to like your destinations, you've been there for a day and you can judge how long you need to spend there. So, it would be cool to be here for a week. Maybe in 6 months, a year, you take your family and you go to where you like for a week and you
Yeah.
spend more time there.
Mm.
Now, in that one day that you're there, it's still going to be fun. It's like a sampler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go out and try it. And then if you like it, go back. It doesn't mean you can't go back again.
You sure you're not like in sales for these cruise liners, or?
The reason why I like cruising, I used to do all inclusive before. The reason why I switched to cruising is for the price point, what it costs to see that many countries in 1 week or 2 weeks, whatever the amount of time the cruise is. There's no way I would be able to visit the amount of countries for that price.
You know how
I
much
would take
yeah.
flights and
You know how much
hotels.
that would, it would be, and then logistically impossible and tiring.
Tiring actually is a big deal. To be honest, I have been very interested in cruises for a while now. My fiance is not so inclined, but I'm working on that. But the whole thing is that sometimes when we go on vacation, it does feel more like traveling, and traveling is a little bit more work.
And that's another big point. You only unpack once.
Yeah.
You have one cabin, and then you're going to wake up in a different destination.
And you don't think about logistics.
You don't have to carry, just carrying your bag to the elevator. You know what I mean? You don't have to work for 7 days. You don't have to worry about that, but you're going to be in a different spot every day.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
One thing that I like to have, it's kind of my safe space, the ship. Like, you go visit the ports, but then I go back home.
You feel like you're going back home.
To my room. I know I'm safe. I'm on the ship. I have everything that I need there. If I get hurt, there's a medical center,
Hopefully we never have to use it, but there's everything on board, everything is on board. It really is an amazing time. And I know I'm being a little biased because I cruise a lot, but, being in real estate and loving cruising, tying the two together for me was just perfect. It was meant to be. And I feel like we should have done it a long time ago, to be honest with you. So we're very excited. That's why when Mario and I met, I was like fireworks going off, like, this is it, let's go.
Yeah. I used to do events too, put rock shows together, and he does events too on the...
I own a production company as well. So we specialize in putting together, it's not like this is our first event we've put together. I personally have overseen over 3,500 events and have planned those myself with, 300, 400 plus attendees at each one, 3 to 4 a week on average. So it's not my first rodeo, because you can't jump in this blind and put an event together of this caliber. You have to know what you're doing, and having the two sides, Mario more on the investing side, and I'm able to jump into that. And, he already loved cruising, was on board. It really was meant to be. It
was like meant to be.
Nice.
We wanted to do it. I forgot to mention something before about pricing. So
we have something special
right now. It's $300 off per person until May 1st. Okay, so $1,550 is the discounted price. May 1st it goes up $300 per person, except the kids' price. The kids' price stays the same. But you guys have a discount code. You guys have a discount code you can give to people.
The property hustlers get
right? We want to give you guys, you folks, the ability to give your viewers a little perk, a little incentive, right? So we'll make sure we get that to you, and you guys can share it with all of your friends, and they'll get an additional $100 off per cabin, $50 Canadian, by the way. Our pricing on the website is all in Canadian dollars, and I bring that up because we do have a lot of attendees in the US. So the nice thing, like me, we get a discount, it seems like a discount, but the pricing on our website is Canadian dollars. So if you're here in Canada, you don't have to worry about converting anything. You'll purchase in that price point. Same thing with these discounts. So your promo code will be $100 off per cabin, $50 per person in Canadian dollars off.
Yeah, it's per person. So if you're 4 people in a cabin, which I think it's 4 adults is a little too much, but it's $50 per person.
And on that note, I do recommend 2 adults in a cabin. You can totally have 2 kids in there with you, no problem. So 2 adults, 2 children is good. If you really want to go for the value, then you can, try to put 4 people in a cabin, but I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend 2 adults per cabin.
Yeah.
So 2 adults and if they have a family, 2 adults, 2 kids.
Absolutely.
It's max 4 per cabin.
That's amazing. Honestly, we've been talking about just putting some of our own people to go on something like that, especially for the purpose of getting into some U.S. investing and expanding our understanding that way. So I do feel like a lot of people will be interested in that.
There's actually a mortgage broker from the U.S. that is coming. So that's great for, networking and getting because the programs are so different when you want to, get loans in the US, different from Canada. It's unbelievable.
Something I learned recently along this venture is the bank differences between Canada and the US. If you look up the statistics, but there's only a couple hundred banks in Canada versus a couple thousand in the US. So it's a complete different financial structure when it comes to lending for real estate. So it's a huge incentive for both U.S. and Canadians for cross-border investing. to be able to ask these questions that people that already do it and have it set up.
Yeah.
Guys like Alfonso Quadra that already has these systems in place that would love to share the information with you will be on board with us. So it's just a win-win-win all around.
The ratio is actually 70 to 80 lenders here versus 4,000 in the States.
See what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's even more dramatic than I thought.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And also like in the US, there's a 30-year fixed term
Yeah.
versus in Canada, like it doesn't matter what you sign, every 3 to 5 years you need to renew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the truth is, like, a Canadian can spend a whole week just learning about mortgage differences,
Yeah.
right?
See, that's amazing information.
The U.S. industry, when it comes to that stuff, is just way more mature, like financially mature. They have a lot more product. And remember, when we're talking to certain people, everybody, I guess, in the niche that they work over there will give you a different answer. So it's good to get different perspectives. So my favorite answer I got from somebody when I asked them about any restrictions, they asked me the question, "Is your money green?" And I'm just like, that's a very American mentality. I like that question. Let's make it work. So I think there's probably, I have no doubt there's going to be somebody for everybody.
You just hit the nail right on the head. There's something and somebody for everybody along the way.
So how do people reach out to you guys or get a little bit more information?
They can go to our website. It's www.reiatse.com and reiatse.com. And they can send us an email, info@reiatse.com, or they can send us a message on our website through the chat.
We have a live chat on our website. We also have a contact form that's very easy to use. Our website is very also easy to use itself. So if you want to secure your cabin, all the information we've gone over today is on the website. From the itinerary, we have a breakdown of the itinerary, the activities on board, the destinations we're visiting, as well as your payment options and booking options. You select your cabin, you hit book now, process your payment. And it's that easy.
Yeah, that's amazing. By the way, I forgot to ask one question here. How big is a cruise liner?
That we're going on the Carnival Celebration,
Yeah.
which is 188,000 tons. So it's huge.
Okay.
It's one of the biggest ships on the sea. There are a few ships that are a little bit bigger, but 4,000 guests, 2,000 crew. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of people. But this is a cool thing. The reason why I like the larger ships is they don't move as much. You feel like it's so solid and just steady, and like it's so comfortable. A lot of people bring up, you mentioned it earlier, as I know you haven't been on a cruise, is, oh, am I going to get seasick? Because you think of going on a boat, right? And a boat moves a lot in the water. So you're like,
Yeah.
but the cruise ship is very, very steady. So the ship is very comfortable, very, very comfortable.
And we selected rooms, especially in areas where you're going to feel it less. So people, the first timers out there, don't be worried. We
Yeah.
got you.
No, that's amazing.
We really try to think of everything,
Yeah.
because I've heard thousands of questions. So when we start going over cruising, me doing it professionally. So I do, sell cruises professionally for groups. I do events on cruise ships. I have done this before. It's not my first one. As a matter of fact, just to give you an example, next month I have Italians at Sea, a group of Italians that get together and do a group.
Nice.
So, you see
Love
what I
it,
mean?
love it,
It's,
yeah.
it's a great time. I had a partnership that does West Coast Super Cruise, which is a Super Bowl cruise for us American football watchers, and for Super Bowl. So events on a cruise ship isn't something new for me. What's new is the conference side, the workshop side, the networking side. It's always been just for fun, but why not bring in education to the fun?
When we approached Carnival, they didn't even know how to respond because it's never been done. We asked all this space, we need this, we need that. The business manager was like, "Oh, I guess we'll try to make it work."
And
But
then
I don't know. We never did
There
it.
was separate departments he had to put me in contact with because it wasn't something that he's done before. But then he got me to the correct department on the marketing side, and they were able to secure all those spots
Yeah.
for us. So that just goes to show you, a corporation like Carnival is excited to do something like this, which is exciting for us.
No, that sounds amazing.
Our view for the future, eventually we would like to charter a whole ship and have all investors on board.
Can you
But-
imagine having the whole ship of
Oh,
just
that'd be
one
crazy.
massive party?
Yeah.
And then I mean, it's just speechless.
No, you know what? But I do think that what you guys are doing is actually quite innovative. I think there's a movement of people right now who are really trying to combine that which they consider life and work, education, and progressing yourself. And it shouldn't just be, the work-life balance sometimes implies that your work is separate from your life in entirety. But some people want to have like balancing it means putting it together in
Yeah.
something that is like more
Yeah,
cohesive.
integrating it.
Exactly.
And you know, and forgive me for saying it this way, but post COVID, we kind of all got accustomed a little bit to that, right? A lot of people start working from home or being closer to family when they work. So it's not like it's something new. And this cruise isn't work. We want to be very clear. It's going to be fun. Fun is a big emphasis on fun, right?
Yeah.
Even the workshops are going to be fun. So we did leave one thing out. So we have one morning segment, and we can't tell you guys too much about this now. But we're going to have a segment called Deal or No Deal, where we want to maybe even have a real estate deal happen on the ship.
Yeah.
So imagine we have, somebody present a deal that they're looking for partnerships in, and you could be a part of it. So whether you're a part of it or not, it's going to be fun to watch. So that'll be exciting, and I can't wait for
Yeah,
that.
the possibilities of this are endless.
Think
You can
about
do-
it.
Yeah.
Hey, where'd you get that? Yeah, those 9 units, those 9 doors. And you're like, actually, I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, tell me you're not going to remember that for the rest of your life.
Speaking of being in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, internet thing, right? Yeah.
Very
good.
important question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such an important question.
So it's not included in our package, but
Yeah.
people can purchase the internet. I think there's 3 different levels of speed that you can purchase.
Yeah,
but-
internet is not a problem nowadays with technology. You can imagine me being on a ship as much as I am. I can't work or live without internet. It's reliable. It's there. Nothing to worry about. You can be connected. You're not
Yeah.
completely disconnected.
Good. Okay. Awesome. I'm sold.
Yeah,
So-
no, of course.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, it sounds great.
It's one thing I forgot to mention for the networking events too. They'll be hosted by each
Oh, this is
partner.
fun. Yeah.
So day one is, I think it's going to be Billy. She's going to be in charge of that networking event and whatever she plans, or whatever the partners plan. So that's going to be interesting. We don't even know. That's
all
in
we know
their
is
hand.
Billy hinted to us that
Yeah.
her segment for the networking event is going to be called Go Deeper.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you, like, our amazing team is also thinking deep into this to make sure it's exciting, fun, and educational for everybody, because they're coming up with these ideas now, and this is next February, and it'll be here quicker than we think. I
Oh,
mean,
100%.
it comes up
And
quick.
the good thing of booking now is because you can book your flights to go to Miami to catch the ship at a super low price right now.
That's the only thing that's really not included in the package is your airfare to get to Miami. And I recommend a pre-hotel stay. So stay in Miami one night before, unless you're very local to Miami. We don't recommend flying in the morning of the cruise. You want to get in the day before, and that way you don't miss the ship.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you never know what can happen, right?
People know how to get a hold of you. What about if somebody wants to follow you on social media, Instagram, Facebook, anything like that? What's the best way?
Yeah, we do have REI at Sea, Summit at Sea, a Facebook page.
So the branding is very important to us, and we wanted to keep it consistent. So we kept that in mind when we searched for the name of our event. So realistically, REI, which is Real Estate Investors at Sea, or Summit at Sea, you can find us on every platform: Instagram, Facebook. We're not on TikTok yet. I don't know.
No.
We might have to.
Maybe,
After the
maybe,
event.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
TikTok
on the
first
on
one,
the
yeah.
ship we'll
But we'll all do one
shorts.
as a team, you know?
Yeah.
But whether we're on Facebook, Instagram, if you just do a search for REI Summit at Sea or REI at Sea, we're going to come up, which is cool because, we're able to see the traffic on our website, and the excitement is buzzing, man. People are like, this is game changer. And, we're already booking cabins, and we just launched the event technically on the 1st of this month. We've been planning it for about a year, a little less than a year, about what?
Well, a month now, March 1st.
That's when we launched. Yeah. That's when we launched, is a month ago. But for about a year, we've been planning it. And the excitement is just what I love, right? I love seeing people excited and happy, because when you're excited and happy, you're just going to be more successful.
No, this is what will make things happen. Okay, so we're going to leave some information about how to get in touch in the description for this video. But guys, great having you on the show.
No,
Hey,
we appreciate
thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It was such an honor. And you guys have such a great studio. And I don't know, it's just so awesome being here. So thank you so much.
Feel like a movie star.
But
There you
we
go.
definitely hope to see you guys on board. We want to see you guys
100%.
on the cruise.
Yeah,
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 let's do it.